schools, Purdue and Kentucky. He goes to the NFL where he's good in San Diego for 3 years, and then they draft Phillip Rivers, another obstacle. Oh, by the way, in the NFL, his last game in San Diego, he hurts his shoulder. And then he goes to Miami, and publicly the doctor says, I can't clear you to play. Obstacle. And then he goes to New Orleans, and it's a natural disaster. Katrina, obstacle. They play home games in San Antonio. And then halfway through his stay in New Orleans, Sean Payton gets suspended for a year, his architect. The greatest 8 quarterbacks I've ever seen play the game. Peyton, Brady, Montana, Bradshaw, Elway, Marino, Aikman, Breeze. And all of them have different stories, but compare it to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning DNA. Perfect. 6'5". Peyton Manning's dad, NFL quarterback. Peyton Manning had his choice of SEC schools surrounded by NFL players. And then when he goes to Indianapolis, they land Bill Polian, Hall of Fame general manager. I mean, if you think about Peyton Manning's life, and he deserves all the acclaim, he didn't face all these obstacles. Drew Brees from DNA on, nothing but hurdles, nothing but roadblocks. It's unbelievable. It's just like it's a steeplechase, hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. Congratulations to Drew Brees, one of my all-time favorite guys. His story is as great as anybody that's ever played that position in this league. Amazing. Welcome back. Good to have you in. By the way, I was talking to a source last night, updating it this morning. It's an offensive league. That doesn't mean you have to hire an offensive coach. That's not what it means. But a name that's not getting talked about, and I'm told he's more interested than he's letting out, it's Bruce Arians. He has said he'd be interested in Cleveland. I'm told he would be interested in 2 other jobs, one specifically Tampa Bay. So there are more candidates out there. Some of them are putting their names out there. Some of them are taking their names out for political reasons. I'm told Bruce Arians, who's a very good coach, offensive guy, boy, I'll tell you, he could do a lot with one of these young quarterbacks. He's more interested than he's saying. But USA Today had a list this morning of the best. Of the 8 job openings in the NFL, they ranked them, and they put Green Bay 1, Cleveland 2, Jets, Denver, Tampa, Miami, Arizona, Cincinnati. I will say this about Cleveland. When was the last time head coach of the Cleveland Browns was better than head coach of the Denver Broncos?
How about quarterback now?
Okay, well, I'm just going to throw this out there. This is an organization that couldn't see Bill Belichick was good. They had Nick Saban, too. He was in the organization, let him go. Belichick let him go.
I'm not in the habit of defending the Cleveland Browns organization.
So I want to say this. I'm going to speak for men here. Men handle failure mostly the same. It pisses us off. We put our head down. We work harder. That's how we handle failure. But men handle success differently. Some guy's going to buy a Corvette, jet skis, going to spend all my money. It's going to last forever. Men, businesses, firms, teams that do not have a history of winning don't handle little bits of success very well. It's called the lottery winner syndrome. Loser becomes winner, 50% go broke, don't know what to do. The Cleveland Browns, John Dorsey's the general manager. He built that Kansas City team. Why'd he get fired? Ego. Big ego. Baker Mayfield, good quarterback, issue. Even Greg Williams admits, you don't tell Baker what to do. Ego. Jimmy Haslam, owner, has ruined Tennessee football, University of Tennessee football, the Browns. Ego. A lot of egos here. By the way, who'd they bring in? Todd Haley, ego. Hugh Jackson, ego. A lot of egos in Cleveland. In the state of Ohio, Ohio State football wins a Rose Bowl. They're not going to party all night. It's Ohio State football. They know they win all the time. They're winners. If they win the Rose Bowl 5 hours from now, 6 hours from now, Ohio State's not going to party all night. Ohio State's going to go, we win the Rose Bowl. That's what we do. And they will literally get on a plane that night and go recruit the next great players. They will not party. There'll be no champagne. Ohio State's winners. Winners handle success differently. Baltimore's in the playoffs. So what? Again, who cares? They always are. Alabama in the finals. So what? Who cares? Always are. New England in the playoffs. So what? Who cares? Always are. Cleveland finished in third place. Third place. Beat one team that's in the playoffs, Baltimore, with Flacco. Had a last place schedule. And they're celebrating like it's 1999. Losers, give them a little bit of success. They don't know how to handle it. Jacksonville, losers, little success, implodes. Minnesota Vikings don't have a lot of Super Bowl trophies up there in Minnesota. Little success last year. Atlanta Falcons, little success. This is the way it works with guys who have never been successful. Teams, businesses, firms, coaches, players. Cleveland got an inch of success, and I mean an inch. They finished third place in their division.
I don't know if I would call it success. I would call it an inch of improvement.
But they're not treating it like that. If you
there's something. What do you say to people when they get successful? Like, act like you've been there before. They haven't been there before. They don't know how to act.
By the way, now this Cleveland job, it used to be there were no expectations. But now if you go in, well, you've got Baker Mayfield. Look at our team. It's unbelievable. No, it finished in third place.
Doesn't feel like it, though, huh?
That's because Cleveland is selling you, look at how success. That's what people with egos who haven't been successful, who get a little bit of success, you tell me in your lifetime when Cleveland's been a better job than the Denver Broncos. Let's start with never and work our way from there. Okay, Denver just had a bizarrely average season. What was Denver's record this year? I don't have it in front of me. What was Denver's record? 6-10. That is seen as an utter disaster in Denver. What was Cleveland's record? What did they win, 7 games? And you'd think they won the Super Bowl. People, teams, quarterbacks, firms do not handle success the same way. The lottery winner syndrome. Never had it, now have a little of it, maybe a lot of it, implode. I'm not buying Cleveland for the next 10 years is a great job, significantly better than the Denver Bronco job. Do not believe that. And I don't care this morning who the quarterback is. Don't give me that. I don't care. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
It's been such an odd NFL season, but I think the most peculiar part for me has been all of the support that I've levied for Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns all season from the very beginning. And now I find myself defending them again. It's like remarkable.
No, what's
and I was
going
rooting
on
for them.
And your brother's a Hall of Famer.
Weekend.
You know the dysfunction there.
Oh. It's a running joke. I'm from Pittsburgh. Like that's what it is. The Browns aren't even considered a real organization.
You know what this reminds me of? Remember when the Clippers had an inch of success with Lob City, and you would have thought, and the Lakers are cross town, and the Lakers are like, what, you want a playoff series?
Well, you know what it is with Cleveland? I feel like for the first time outside of the quarterback, people really feel like they have talent.
Well, so's Jacksonville.
But it feels different than Jacksonville. Like, I never bought into Jacksonville because they didn't have a quarterback. I never bought into Blake Bortles.
Maybe I don't buy into Cleveland.
Well, we know how you feel about Baker. All right, so the playoff field is set now, and the updated Super Bowl odds have been released. And the Saints lead the way as the favorites, followed by the Chiefs, Rams, and the Patriots. We got the Bears in there with 9-1 odds as well.
That seems about right to me.
Yeah. Well,
I think they have the Rams overvalued.
You sold all of your Ram stock.
I didn't sell all of it. I sold.
I think you sold all of it.
I sold a lot of my Ram stock. I still kept a little in my portfolio.
Okay.
I bought more. Even after the Chargers lost to the Ravens, everybody bailed on the Chargers. And I'm like, time out. Fundamentally, nothing changed for the Chargers. They're still a really good team. The Chargers, I contend, are still today better than the Rams. I really believe just because they lost to a really good Baltimore team by a field goal, like I have to sell all my Charger stock?
No, you don't think you should sell any of your Charger stock. I just personally, I don't know what it is with the Chargers. I just can't trust them.
I get it. No, history says you shouldn't trust them.
I know, and I can't do that. But I do like the Saints. The wild card schedule this weekend is Indianapolis and Houston, Seattle and Dallas, and then on Sunday it's the Chargers in Baltimore and Philadelphia and Chicago. And it's going to be an interesting weekend for sure. But I do like the Saints being favored. I mean, I feel like towards the end of the season we kind of came down off of the Saints buzz. And it feels like the Chiefs kind of finished with more of the momentum.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Drew Brees has just been playing out of his mind this year.
Yeah.
So There's a lot of chapters in the Steelers dysfunction book this year, and the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported that Antonio Brown basically skipped practice, which prompted the team to fabricate an injury report to cover for his absence, as we know, and then he showed up Sunday with the goal of playing, and he didn't. And obviously, that suggests that they are at the point of no return with Antonio Brown, which is insane because he's widely considered the best receiver in the league.
And receivers have never been more valuable than today.
Right. So he's got a contract, obviously, that makes things very complicated. And there's really not too much the Steelers can do based on that contract without taking a massive cap hit. So the Steelers would have to carry $21 million in dead money if they cut or trade Antonio Brown. They could release him in March with a post-June 1st designation, which would result in $7 million counting against the 2019 cap hit and $14 million counting against the 2020 hit. So they're really in a horrible situation financially with Antonio Brown because of his contract. So I don't know what they can do.
Well, I think you have to be grown-ups and you have to sit down, and 30-year-old Antonio Brown has to be a man, not a child, and say, I was petulant, I was immature, I apologize for throwing objects at other adults, and I'm sorry for putting myself above the team. This is about personal responsibility. It's not. I'm tired of everybody. Listen, I've been critical of Mike Tomlin. This is not on Mike Tomlin. And by the way, Big Ben is a lot of drama.
90% of the situation is Antonio Brown's fault.
Yes.
But I can't let Mike Tomlin off the hook in this situation. You are the leader.
Yes.
You are the coach.
Yes.
You have a ton of wiggle room with that organization. The organization backs you and trusts you. It's consistent. It's not a dysfunctional organization at the top. You have to create an environment where this is not acceptable behavior, where you have a fear as a player of doing something that's not only going to damage your reputation, the team's reputation. Like, there's a pride thing here that I feel like is lacking with the Steelers. You're a Pittsburgh Steeler. You're an elite player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That should matter to you because this is an embarrassment.
No, I mean,
you're not in the playoffs. What did you do? You had an amazing season and you're sitting at home. So what did it matter? What did you accomplish? Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk more about this. It's personal for you because you're from Pittsburgh.
I mean, it just bothers me. Like, it's a colossal disappointment. Finally, you talked a little bit about this a few minutes ago. James Harden. So Chris Paul is injured, and Harden's put the team on his back as of late, and he is on a historic pace. He finished 2018 in style, 43 points.